without you. The big review. Go like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Lost without you. It's the big review. The big review.
Grab your pillow, chill with your boy Brillo. I'm back with another video. You come across it, like and subscribe, lock into the real. If you subscribed already, we locked in. Thank you. If you a hater, please be quiet. You don't serve a purpose. Pouring gas on the flame, and I'm the flame. With that being said, I'm back. YouTube, I'm back 2022, trying to bring you something new. So today we're gonna do our first OG gangster flick review. Brillo's review. So I'm reviewing the classic King of New York. I don't know why it didn't get more critically acclaimed than it is, but to me it's a classic. It had its good parts and its bad parts. I'm gonna outline some of the highlights and I'm gonna give you my grade of the film. So the film main protagonist is Frank White. He's an OG, so the film comes on, he's locked up, but he's coming home. And we assume he's done a significant bid because he's coming home. And as he's coming home, all of his competitors are getting pressed. Right? Opening scene, the dudes get sprayed up in the phone booth. And dudes that sprayed him up throw a newspaper down and they say Frank White released. So he's pressing soon as he gets out. He's not only a drug dealer, he also has a heart. So he's trying to get a hospital built in the Bronx. And his gang is majority black. His right-hand man is Jimmy Jump, Larry Fishburne, aka Lawrence Fishburne. And when I tell you he's tough. He had one of the most iconic scenes of the movie, the first 15 minutes. Okay, so they going to get a re-up. Jimmy in there talking trash. You know, they lightweight. The Colombians are lightweight talking, being a little racist towards them. Hey, whatever. Long story short, he give him a briefcase full of supposed money. My man popped the briefcase open. It's full of tampons. And my man say, what the hell is this? Jimmy says, for the hoes. Get the ringing on him, banging him. It's for the hoes. He gave him tampons for the hoes. That's how Jimmy was coming. His second in command. So, as Frank is getting out, he's going to all the boroughs to try to solidify the game and try to put these dudes out of business because they're not playing the game how it needs to be played. This movie has so many iconic scenes. Frank's on the train with his girl or whatever, with his lawyer, which was also one of his women. And three dudes try to rob him. They come up to him and they try to rob him. So of course Frank is strapped, opens his jacket up. You see the 4.5 buck on his waist. Dudes try to back up. He pull out a giant knife, throw it to him, and that's when he say, "Meet me at the Plaza Hotel. I got work for you." Ask for Frank White. Classic. When he goes to see the Italians to try to solidify his stronghold. Another classic line. From here on in, no one gets paid if I don't get a cut. Not a dime bag in the park. I want in. I know that should sound something familiar. I kind of messed up on the words a little bit, but hey, you get the point. Fire scene. So many scenes like that. So many iconic scenes. Now, I will admit, they had several shootouts. So, Frank's meeting with all of these boroughs. So, he meets with Chinatown. The Chinatown dude don't want to buckle. He's trying to get everybody to come in line and do better for the streets. The dude in Chinatown is bleeding. The bleed in his block. Not being fair to his own people. The dude, Lil Tito, is got 13-year-old girls prostituting for him. So since Frank is out, it's this group of cops. Wesley Snipes and a couple other dudes that you'll recognize when you go revisit the movie. So they're angry that Frank is out and they're pressing. So they're basically being a nuisance towards him because he's out and they know he's doing these murders, but they can't prove it. So they get so frustrated that they take matters into their own hands and they go and kind of try to rough Frank up a little bit at one of his parties, one of his events. Nothing came of that. So Fast forward, Jimmy, after a couple more shootouts, couple more takeovers, because Frank is taking over. Like I said, he want to get this hospital, and his whole thing is, I spent all this time in jail. I got to do something good. I know I'm selling drugs, but I got to do something good, and he wants this hospital built. He wants this hospital built. So think of Frank as he's like a mix of Tommy and Ghost. He's like a mixture of both put together. So Frank wants this hospital built. So long story short, Frank's going to get this built, so one way or the other. So the cops are pressing, they're pressing. They can't, they arrest Jimmy on a couple of the murders, and Frank's lawyer tells him don't post bail because they got $1 million bail, but he's like, no, let my guy out. So he gets them, all of them dudes free. So the cops are they're beside themselves by this point. So they want to take matters into their own hands. And something that I liked about the movie is they actually made the cops the bad guys. Cops take matters into their own hands. Somebody from Frank's crew or one of his associates who was getting him meetings with all these dudes to try to get them to collaborate on this effort to get the hospital. This same dude crossed Frank, put some police, because Frank, after he robbed the Chinese, he has an abundance of product. He's trying to get it off. So he needs new clients. So dude introduced him to some clients. Turns out to be the cops. But they're not trying to arrest Frank. They trying to kill Frank. Getting into a little shootout. Him and Jimmy doing their thing. Frank weaving in and out of traffic. Jimmy snatched my man mask off and see that it's a cop. So by this time, everything is splitting up. And Jimmy claps Wesley Snipes, who was one of the cops, and and finally he gets shot by another cop right after he killed Wesley. And then funniest scene, Jimmy's over there laughing like Joker or something, just hilariously laughing like Joker before he gets killed. And once Jimmy gets killed, Frank goes on a rampage. Another classic scene, Frank pulls up to the funeral of the dead cop Wesley and blows another cop's head off with a double-barrel shotgun. When I tell you, and that's why I said some of the stuff was outlandish, but Frank might have been one of the hardest kingpins ever. Like the stuff that he was doing immediately when he touched down, he started pressing. I know I skipped around a lot, but I just wanted to give you some highlights of the film. Of course, the film ends with Frank killing yet another cop on the subway. And he let the cops know, like, you coming at me like I'm public enemy #1. But all these dudes that I killed, they're no good for the game. And when I was locked up for all these years, nothing stopped. So he used the same excuse as every drug dealer. People gonna get their dope from somewhere. I get it. So I skipped over a lot. I just wanted to give you some of the highlight plays of the film. So many classic lines. So many classic moments in the movie. Frank White, for those of you who don't know, that was one of Biggie's aliases, Kings of New York, Frank White. And with that being said, man, my grade for this movie is a B+. Reason I give it a B+, because it was a little outlandish. Some of the shootouts, some of the things that was happening was a little, but you got to take into account the time that the movie was made. It was made in the 90s, so they didn't have all the effects and things like that. If you can get past that, give it a watch. It's definitely Brillo approved. Bang that like for your boy before I get up out of here. Let me know in the comments what's the next OG flick I should review and talk about. That's all I got for y'all today, man. It's 22. I'm trying to bring something new. Show your boy some love. Go ahead and lock in. Subscribe. Bang that. Show me some love. I'm on my way. I'm trying to keep the channel fresh. If you subscribed already, you already know we locked in the Brillo way. Holla at your boy.